So this sometimes will be undefined. So we need to do a check to see if that's undefined. And if it is, here, this whole middleware is responsible for checking if there's a token, and if there is, decoding it, verifying it, and attaching rec.user. But if there's not a token, because sometimes you don't need a token, right? When don't we need a token, Jazz? With requests?
When we try to get a request.
Yeah, usually get requests. So getting tweets, getting posts, whatever. So there are situations where we don't need a token. So if there is no authorization, what should we do in this middleware? The whole point of this middleware is that it's just checking if there's a token. But if there's not a token, what do we do, Ryan?
Next.
Yeah, we want to
Next,
return
yeah.
to shut it down, but then call next so it doesn't freeze. So let's save that, rerun, and see if we get beyond this error. So let me refresh just to be safe. I try to log in, user and password is invalid. I'll just register again. Oh, okay. So max 2, 1, 2, 3. That's working okay. I can click refresh and I'm being logged in automatically. That's good. Let's test registering with Hara. Okay, so no errors there, but I'm sure we're going to encounter more that we'll need to tweak. So you should be updating your auth middleware with this code though. But I'll push this code at the end of lecture. So questions on that? This auth middleware is going to be like a very important concept to absorb and understand. So if you do have questions, let me know. We have a lot of time today in lecture too. We've covered the real fundamentals and now it's just using the auth that we've already built. Okay, so what do we want to do? Our objective today is to be able to submit a new summary. So maybe you want to write something new here about Milkman, right? And you want to submit summary. But right now, this isn't doing anything. So we are here in the code. We have a form to get the text from the user. But what else do we need to create a submission? Sorry, a summary. What else do we need, Renata, from the user? Or maybe not from the user, but from the front end. What do we need to be able to create a summary?
Sorry, I don't understand. On this tab, on the new summary, what do we need?
Yeah, so we're creating a form on the front end to
Yes.
add a new summary description of Milkman.
Okay.
All we have is text so far. What else do we need to provide the back end so they can create a summary?
I don't know.
Okay. David, any ideas? And I pulled up the schema so you could have an idea.
Yeah, they're gonna need a project name.
Yeah, so let's pause there. How can we access how console log the project name? Yes, let's pause there. And I'm going to give you a hint. Here's our path. Our current path is this. How can we use React Router to access this information from here?
Is it params?
Yeah. So we're going to grab the params with use params. And now I can console.log params. And that's going to be an object. With a property of project name and the value of milkman, which matches this. So if we switch to a different project and I submit, now it'll be spammer because it's matching this dynamic route parameter.
That comes from your main routes, right?
Yeah, very nice. Yep. So right here, because I used colon and called it project name. So we grab that. So params is an object with a property of project name. All I want to do is grab the project name. How can I use destructuring to grab that project name? Jazz?
Sorry, I was doing something. 1 second. Params. You just do the curly braces.
And what goes in there?
Yes. And then put inside, let me see. Project name.
Yeah. And now if I console.log project name, I have access to the project name. Okay, David, what else do we need?
Let's see. So we've got text, project name, and a user.
Yeah, but how does the backend always find out who the user is?
Through the token.
Yeah. I think we have all the pieces we need. So we're in the front end. How do we ask the back end? Or how do we send the back end a request to create a submission? I think we have all the pieces we need. We don't have all the pieces we need. If I console.log token right now, that's going to be an error, undefined. Worse than undefined. It produces a reference error. I'm in the component new summary. How can I access token? Monica, how can I get access to token? Here's where token lives.
What is it called? Is it like is it inside the outlet context?
Exactly, yeah. I can just pass it in the context so everyone can grab it if they want. And now here, how can I grab it? So that was kind of like exporting it. How do we import it? Kimberly, any ideas? And this is going to be similar to how we did it on line 5. What do you think?
You don't do const token, right?
No, so we do the hook use outlet context when we want to
Use
grab
outlet
something from context. And that returns us an object, but we want to just grab which property.
The token.
Yeah. And now when I console.log token, I got the token. Okay. We have all the pieces we need to do this request. How can I send a request to the front end? What's the built-in function I use from the front end to the back end to ask for anything? Alex?
I'm not sure.
Victor, what's the function I use built in to send a request from the front end to the back end?
Fetch.
Yep. And any ideas what the first argument should be? Where are we sending this request to? Where does our locally running server live?
Localhost 3000.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. What am I doing? So we have this stored in a variable called API, right? That we can auto import. And then what is a likely... I already created this on our backend, right? Yeah. So how can I hit this backend route from my front end? This summary router in a post request. How can I hit this route?
Post.
What's that?
Post.
It's actually summaries. Yeah. So, where is that? Right here. We called it summaries for the summary router. Yeah. So summaries. What data type is our second argument? Ketzerin? What's the data type of that optional second argument for fetch?
Callback function.
No, yeah. That's for a request endpoint or router or handler. Daniel, fetch, second argument. We haven't used
Sorry,
it
I was muted.
too much yet.
Is it the rec response?
No, that's the back end. Yeah. The front end, we have this optional argument where we can define the method. What do you think the method is, Daniel?
Oh, actually,
We're trying to hit this route to create a new summary. We have
Yeah, I'm
get,
not sure.
post, put, or delete.
Oh, it'd be a post.
Yep. And then remember, wasn't it you who was asking where eventually do we put the token?
Yes.
So how well were you listening to the answer? Where do we put the token?
The header.
Yeah, in our
Oh.
headers. And then what's the property name?
Authorization.
Yeah. And do you remember the structure of the value, the syntax? I don't know if have we seen this yet? I think we have, right? Yeah.
I'm not sure. Would it be bearer?
Bear.
And then,
Yep.
and then token.
Yeah, and then we inject our token. Yep. There's another header we need, though. Any guess there, Ryan? There's one more header we're going to need.
Is it to do with JSON?
Yes.
I forget the wording. Sorry.
Yeah, it's hard. Content type, and then application/JSON. And then there's a third property we need, Ryan. What's that?
Body.
Yeah. And do you remember the value for that?
What do you mean? Sorry.
Sorry. So we have to convert it to JSON because the agreed upon
yes.
language is JSON. But then what should we pass it as the body?
An object with what we want to put in it.
And what do we want to give summary router?
Text and the project name.
Yes.
Yeah,
So-
and we've got the user in the header. Right?
Yeah. You're about to say end, but then you stopped because there's
Yeah.
nothing else there because we do have the user in that token. So this returns to us a promise, right? Same as always. And we'll go ahead and check out what that looks like. Yeah. So let's actually try to submit and see what happens. We're logged in as Hara. We're submitting a summary to Spammer. And it worked, which is crazy the first time. But we can do some improvements, right? So what don't I like about this user experience? What's not pleasing to me as the user?
The text remaining in the form or in the
Yeah,
input?
text remaining in the form. and my new submission didn't show up. Oh, did it not? Okay. Before we even hit that, this is dummy data still. So let's get rid of our dummy data and grab the real data. So I'm going to delete the dummy data from summaries. It's still going to be an array though initially. I'm going to copy fetch user because I'm hoping it's going to be similar to my fetch summaries. And then I'll let you guys tell me what needs to change. So I want to fetch summaries from this function. What needs to change on this line? Rodrigo?
So it would be API/summaries.
Yep. And what HTTP method is this request going to be? Get, post, put, or delete.
Get.
So by default, it knows it's get, so we don't need that. Instead of set users, what do we want here, Rodrigo?
Set summaries.
Yeah. And this will be info.summaries, I'm guessing. And then how do I get this function to fire when the application first loads at least once? Jiang.
Will you effect?
Yeah.
Yeah, and put it there.
Okay, let's see if we get any errors in this application. No. Spammer. Ooh, nice. We have the real spammer. Okay, let's try to enter some new ones. And we got success true, but we can improve this experience. So if info.success, what do we want to happen? How can we clear the text that's the user has written in there? Roman. How can we clear the input text?
Could you just set the text back to an empty string?
Yep. So let's try that, right? So a new submission, submit, and it's submitted, but I still don't see my new submission. How can I see my new submission? Zach, any clue there? How can we re-grab all the submissions? Because the fresh one was created in the database, but we need to get it again.
I'm not sure, Max.
Okay, Ronald or whoever, Roman.
Yeah, I think we need to like refetch it or re-update.
Yeah. So what's the easiest way to do that?
Fetch. I think we have one. Fetch summaries.
Yeah.
Yes.
So how can I make fetch summaries available in new summary?
Right. Is it passed through outlet? Yeah, you could just pass it through the outlet context.
Yep.
And then
in new summary, how can I grab it?
Yeah, so you can just add that as a comma, fetch summary there.
Yeah. I don't like that it didn't auto suggest, but I guess we're fine.
Yeah. And then just call it right below there.
Yeah. Okay. And if everything's good, we should be able to make a new summary. Oh, we got an error. We got an error, but the user's not seeing an error. But the user should see an error. So how can I do that? Wait, so here, let me show this console.log info so you guys can see the error. First off, does anyone have a guess what the error is? It's pretty tricky.
There's already a message with the same exact.
Yeah, and we have a unique decorator. Awesome, Kimberly. So there's the error. Or whoops, hold on. There's the error, but I want to show this to my user. If there's an error, how can I show it to my user? Or I guess I should say, if not, info.success.
Would you have to create a piece of state?
Yeah, what's a good name for that?
Error, set error.
Yeah. What's a good initial value?
Empty string.
Yeah. Okay, so return set error as what?
Yeah. Is it error dot
The whole object is called what?
info dot error.
Yeah, so we'll do info.error. And then we'll display the error wherever. It doesn't really matter. I cannot type error. Okay, so let's do a repeat. And now we get an error showing up. It's not very user friendly. And maybe you could fix that, but I'm not going to do it right now. So we can't do this summary because someone already did it. So I try to submit a different summary. We should clear this though, right? That's kind of ugly. How can I clear the old error?
Set error to an empty string.
Yeah, just at the very beginning, we'll just set error. This is redundant. I don't need this if clause anymore. And now refresh, and I think we're good. Does this actually work? Question mark. I can't press enter in a text area. That's interesting. Yeah. Yeah. It works. Cool. Wow, we flew by that. That was actually all I wanted to cover today. So are there any other questions, or it's going to be a very weirdly short lecture?
Yeah. Where are you calling your fetch requests for your projects in the code? I can't really remember.
Fetch projects. Oh, that's an interesting question. Projects aren't part of the database. They're just hard coded. So,
okay.
Yeah. So, all we have is a project name, which is a string, which this would be a good use case for enums, but you guys have so much on your plate. I don't know if I should introduce it because you're not going to use it in Reddit. So it's kind of like, what's the point? I don't think you're going to use it. Anyway, if you're thinking that this is going to be similar to subreddits, it's not. Subreddits is going to be is way more complicated than this project name, because subreddits are going to be dynamic and users can create them. Project name, it's way easier because there's like only a few and they're set. So it's a whole different organization there. So you're going to have to I don't want you to look at this code and be like, oh, project name is just a way to do subreddits, because it's not going to be. Yeah. Anyway, the answer to your question is that project names are just, we have like 5 of them and they're set. So they don't have their own model or anything like that. Yeah.
Would they have needed them? Like, so we could enter both the project and the summary for the project?
One more time. What's the question?
Would we have needed it for this project? The ability to also submit a project?
Well, yeah. If part of this Resume Meet website was that users could edit projects and make new projects, but that's not the point of it. We have a set number of projects, and you're creating submissions for those projects. So projects is not the widget. The real widget is the submissions. So does this work if we go to another project? Milkman? Yeah, we're still good. So now this is showing up specific for this project. And yeah. And let's delete that console.log.
I have a question.
Do you guys want to? Oh, go ahead. Yeah.
Why did you put the set error again on line 13?
Set error line 13. Oh, because it wasn't clearing when we got an error. So I'll show you again. So if we don't have this, and I try to do a submission, and then I do the same submission, it shows an error, which is great. But then if I do another submission that's correct, the error is still there, which is like gross, kind of. So if we...
but why do we have to put it like on the top part?
So every time this function gets called, it's resetting set error.
Ah, okay, yes.
Yeah.
Okay, I think that's true. Thank you.
Yep. And then it'll be reset if there is an error, so it works there.
Hey, Max, so with the code as it is, the way it's structured, if we wanted to add to each of these summaries, like who it was submitted by, like in this case, since Hara is signed in, do we have access to doing that now?
Yeah, that's a great next objective. So let's get author under these summaries. So let's go to, I think it's in project, where we're going through these summaries. And then let me change this so we have the long form so we can, or I can just console.log summaries right here because I forget what we're getting back right now. Maybe we already have this information easily available. So here's our summaries. And all we have is a user ID, which is not great because what do we want?
Username.
Yeah. So something comes to my mind how we can easily get username without much work automatically included. Does anyone have an idea though? I think this will be pretty easy.
Is it what we used yesterday, rec.users or something like that?
No. It's something I think that we can do right on the database right here.
What can we include?
Yeah. I think we can ask Prisma to include what?
Username?
User. We want the whole user. True. And now just by doing that with the beauty of Prisma, I think we'll get it back. Yeah, look at that. Prisma is awesome, right? We got way more than we bargained for though. Now our users are seeing each other's passwords. So that's not great. What do we want to do there? So we asked to include user true. How can we ask it to disinclude something? Did anyone encounter that? Is there like a select?
I did select.
Select. And then we can just put like username. True. We might want an ID though too. So, well, should other users have access to the... who cares? We might as well. Okay, try this again. Okay, awesome. So we just have the ID and the username. Now that we have that, it's kind of trivial. How can we modify or add to this? Open to the class. So right now we're just showing summary text, but what can we easily add?
Username.
User.
Yeah, so each summary is going to look like this. So it has a user and a username. So if we do summary dot what? User dot
Username.
yes. And then we'll just put author here. Oh, another fun thing. I don't know how fun this is, but this is a public repo. So if anyone wants to help me with styling and do your first like pull request, so you just push your own branch to my repo and I can go ahead and use it for the project. If anyone wants to for fun or whatever. If not, we can just suffer with this ugly styling. Yeah, that was a great other objective. Does anyone have anything like that they think we should add since we have so much good time today?
Can you explain why you put it in can you on the back end? What we just did? Can you on the back end, Max?
Yeah, I got you. What?
So the include, you putting it on the get method for summary, right? So
yeah, so this is, we're asking Prisma, the database, to go get stuff, and we're telling it.
Oh.
The main stuff we're getting is the summaries, but summaries has a relationship to users, and then we're asking it to get all those users as well.
Okay.
Other objectives we can do here to get this actually working. What else do we need, right? Oh, I said we might as well just keep on going with the time we have. I guess the final thing is getting you to be able to vote, right? Or to be able to like a post or not. So let's just have like a little, I mean, for right now, this will be really ugly, but likes. And then we'll need to some kind of likes, right? So I want likes to show up here. Right now, we'll just have 0, but, and then maybe clicking on that will give a like. So how can each user give a like? We haven't done anything. So I think a good place to start is with the database. So let's brainstorm as a group. How can we add likes to our application here?
To the user, I think you would just create likes.
So if we do that, what would be the problem? If likes is just like an int, what do we foresee as the problem to that? Because this would be
user can like more than one.
User can like more than once. We don't know who liked what. Users can like their own posts, which maybe you don't care. But the big one is anyone can like 1,000,000 times, and we have no control over it. So if we want more control over it, what we can do is make a new model just for a like. And the first property is going to be like all the other properties. So this new model like, what's its relationship to a user? Does it have a relationship to a user?
User ID?
Yeah, so it's going to have a user gives a like. So we can put user, and then the data type is going to be a user. And if we save it, Prisma does all the work for us. Except I don't like how they name this. This should be called what, Renata?
Plural?
Yeah, plural and singular.
Likes.
And then like also has a relationship to what, David?
It has a relationship to users, right?
We already did that one though. Yeah. It has another relationship to what?
I'm not sure.
Well, there's only one other table. Well, that's
Summary.
not, that's a lie,
Summaries.
but yeah.
Summary.
Summary. So a like can be associated with one summary at a time. So we just do summary, summary. And then here on summaries, I'm going to change that to likes. And that's it for the database. Except if we want only one like, if we want a person to only be able to like once, what should we add to this model?
Unique
Yeah, we need the
and
special
then-
unique constraint.
constraint.
And
User
the two
ID
things, the
and-
combination of things we want unique are what?
The user ID and the summary ID.
Yes, I believe. Save that. Prisma didn't yell at us. So I think we're good. We made a change to the database. So what do we have to do? Oh, this is a shame.
Migrate.
We might lose everything too. Maybe David's idea or question of a seed is not a horrible idea. A seed file. We'll see if we lose everything or not. No, we're still good. Cool. Okay. So that's step one. There's a lot of ways we can attack this, right? Any ideas? So our objective remains the same. We still want the user to be able to click like and create a like, but there's now a lot of different options about the work we can start doing. Any ideas or suggestions?
Would this be a post or a put request?
What do you think? Yeah.
I would, my gut feeling is since it's already like an existing number on there, you'd be put request to update it, but I don't know.
Oh, this is just total nothing hard coded. That's not mean anything.
I mean, I'm assuming we're gonna have a state with the likes there somewhere, right?
Yeah, but right now in Prisma Studio, there's
Okay, then I
zero
guess,
likes.
Okay. Then I
So
guess,
there's no likes.
So I guess a post.
Yeah, so we're gonna need a post request. So what? So actually, what should we do here as well? So we're gonna want the server to be able to respond to a post request at likes, but what should we probably do to make it well organized?
Create a new route.
Yeah, we should actually make a like router. And then who remembers how to make a router? Who can help me here? This is good review of everything.
Import Express, import Prisma.
Import Express from Express. Awesome. Prisma will auto import when we need it. What comes next, Renata?
The export const.
Yeah. What's a good name for this router?
Like router.
Equals.
Express.router.
Very nice. How can I make an endpoint for slash, I guess this would be likes, a post request to create a new like. Monica?
You do like router dot post, and then we have the forward slash,
Very nice. You're thinking ahead.
and then what is it? Respond and or request and respond.
Yeah. Right now we'll just do success true. How can I tell? Well, there's still some work we need to do. What do we need to do in index.js so this will work, this new router? Kimberly?
You have to import the router.
We will have to, yeah. But I'm going to copy this app.use and change this to what?
Likes.
Yep. And I'm going to auto import like router right here. And how can I test this new route we created? Kimberly, how can I test this new like router?
In Thunderclap.
Yeah, well, how do I change this path? Or what do I change it to?
Post.
And the path?
Likes.
Yeah. I'm not running my server, so run that. Oh, we got a good one. Invalid signature. So here we have a bad auth token. So I'll remove that. I'll remove this body too. Success true. Awesome. We're hitting this endpoint. But now, how do we actually make it true? So what are the things what do we need? What do we need from the client? Yeah, so what's some of the information we're going to need from the client to create a like? Any ideas there, Alex? What do we need from the client?
User ID.
Yeah, and user ID is going to be decoded from what?
From the likes.
From the token. So I thought we had a million Ryans. I guess not. Do we have a max 2? There we go. So where can we throw this token in our request? Victor, where can I throw this token in this Thunder client request?
Under authorization?
Yeah. Okay, so send this post request again. Okay, so we're going to need user. So user will be extracted from the token. What else do we need to be provided in this request to make a like, Victor?
The summary ID?
Yeah, actually. So we need a summary ID. And where to get that, right? Because I don't think, do we have a get request for summaries? I don't even know. Oh, we do. Okay, so I can do a new request here, a get request for summaries. Oh. And here I'll just grab this one. Wait, what's going on? Oh, okay, got it. The emoji server threw me off. Okay, change this back to a post request. The auth is still good. So now we have a summary ID. What else do we need? What else do we need? Ketzerin. If anything.
User ID.
User ID is going to come from where?
Token.
Yeah, so I think we're good, right? Does anyone see anything else? I think we might be good. But this is all new territory, right? We're building this live. So we're trying to post to summaries, and we're getting. No, what? Why don't you guys stop me? What am I doing? We're posting to
We're
likes,
posting
right?
to likes, right?
Why is no one saying anything as I'm leading us down this dark, awful path? Okay, so we got success true for likes. We're trying to create a like. So we need a summary ID, token, and that's it, right? So I think we have everything we need now. How do I ask the database to create a like?
Const likes
Just one.
equals, like equals Prisma dot like dot create. It can be object. I think you would say where.
Not where. Here's the options.
Data. You would need a summary ID, or would you need? Do you also need the user ID?
No. No, we don't need the user ID. Why? Wait, sorry. We absolutely do need the user ID. But where is that user ID going to come from?
User.
What?
Or
this is all about yesterday, connecting yesterday to today. Jiang looks very excited. Jiang, where is the user going to come from? User ID.
Your user ID will be rep dot user dot ID.
Yeah. See how convenient that is now? That work we did yesterday, that we have that available wherever we want. Okay, let's just send this like, see if it worked. What's the problem?
I think it's for the Prisma. Yeah.
I hate this. If anyone figures out how to tell VS Code to auto import with the full path, let me know. Okay, we're trying to like a post from Thunder Client, and we send it, and error. Summary ID is not defined. Okay, what's my error there?
You need to get it from the body.
Yeah. All right, let's try again. Success. Awesome. It worked. Questions on that? Okay, let's try to break it for our last objective. How can we break it, Ryan?
We can avoid sending a token.
Sure. Let's delete our token. Good error. Cannot read properties of undefined reading ID. It doesn't. This is throwing an error. So what do we need to check?
If it's present, if not, rec user ID, send back a error. Success, false.
What's a good message?
Please log in to like.
Okay. That was a good one. Another error possible, Rodrigo? Can you think of?
Could it be not putting it on JSON or putting a number?
Yeah. So if we do bad JSON, it's just going to be that. But if we do no summary ID, what happens? Good error. Argument user is missing. Okay, whatever. So the error is being created from Prisma. So what can we do to catch this error and respond appropriately? Rodrigo?
Try catch.
Yeah. Okay, and we'll return the response, success, false, error dot message. Okay, try to send this again. It's ugly, but at least our server doesn't crash. Can anyone think of anything else? We might be good.
Sorry, just as a quick refresher, you said we did the rec.user.id yesterday, right?
Yeah.
Was that on the index? Or where we set that?
That is from your auth middleware. All this.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. Right here. All right. Final questions before breakout rooms? All right.